I'm Abigail.
I burst into the dining room just as my sister, Isabella, was about to sign the forged deed. The room fell silent, and all eyes turned to me. Isabella froze, the pen hovering over the paper. My mother, Luna, gasped, and my father, Victor, went pale. Mr. Blackwood, the ruthless lender, scowled at me. It all started when Luna came to me with a straight face and said Isabella needed my penthouse for her luxury fashion brand launch. She claimed Isabella needed the unique energy of my place to make the brand a success, and that being forced out was a spiritual lesson in detaching from material possessions. I didn't lose my temper. I didn't shed a tear. I simply picked up my keys and walked out, vowing to expose their schemes. Driving away, my hands were shaking so badly that I could barely hold the steering wheel. It wasn't the snow outside that blurred my vision. It was the overwhelming absurdity of the situation. Isabella wasn't in any trouble. She was just launching a high-end fashion brand and thought my penthouse had the right vibe for her photo shoots. Her own apartment was a mess because she hadn't cleaned it in ages. Luna was the mastermind behind this betrayal. When I tried to reason with her, standing in my living room while Isabella was touching my things as if they were already hers, Luna used her calm, coaching voice. "Abigail," she said, placing a hand on my shoulder, "your resistance is holding you back. You're stuck in a scarcity mindset. We're helping you break free from material attachments. Trust the universe." It was all a load of nonsense. They were just using spiritual jargon to cover their greed. Luna even gave me a check for a motel, drawn from my father's emergency credit line, which he had promised not to touch after a failed business venture. They were going into debt just to get me out. As I was packing in a hurry, Isabella started burning incense to cleanse the energy. In the chaos, I forgot about the wall, safe in my master bedroom closet where I kept my birth certificate, emergency cash, and passport. When I realized it, I thought about going back, but I knew they would call the police and say I was trespassing. I'm a risk analyst for a large corporation. I'm good at spotting problems and minimizing losses. Looking at my childhood home through the snow-covered windshield, I saw it as a bad investment. They thought they were teaching me a lesson about letting go, but I was going to teach them a lesson about the consequences of betrayal. I checked into a cheap motel and didn't sleep that night. I sat on the edge of the bed and logged into the county recorder portal. I found a pending deed transfer that claimed I was selling the penthouse to my parents for a mere $1. Below it was a lien application for a hard money loan of $250,000 from Blackwood Capital. They were stealing my property to fund Isabella's brand launch. I knew I needed evidence. I used my father's old password to access his email and found out that the mobile notary was coming on Friday at 2 p.m. to finalize the deal. I also did a background check on Mr. Blackwood. He was a real estate shark who took people's homes for a living. I took the day off work, knowing my parents' schedule. They would be at a high-end brunch at a club they couldn't afford until 1 p.m. I used my spare key to enter the house. The safe was empty. They had taken everything. I realized Isabella wasn't just forging my signature. She was going to impersonate me. I set up a small nanny cam and a hollowed-out book on the bookshelf in the dining room, where the signing would take place. Then I waited in my car. As the clock ticked closer to 2 p.m., a black Mercedes pulled into the driveway. Mr. Blackwood stepped out, looking as menacing as his online reviews described. 2 minutes later, the mobile notary arrived. Then my parents came out of the garage, but I was waiting for Isabella. When I saw her on the nanny cam feed, I almost couldn't believe my eyes. She had dyed her hair, cut it, and used makeup to look exactly like me. She was holding my stolen passport. The notary asked for ID, and Isabella handed over my passport without hesitation. I prayed the notary would notice the difference, but she nodded and said, "Let's proceed." Just as Isabella was about to sign, I burst in. "Sorry," I said calmly. "I seem to have walked in on a felony." I dropped my real ID and the genuine deed on the table. "I'm Abigail, and this is my house. Unless she's my twin, you're buying stolen property." Mr. Blackwood's face hardened. "Is that true?" he asked. My father stammered, unable to answer. I turned to the notary. You almost notarized a fraud. You should log this. She grabbed the papers. Mr. Blackwood slammed his briefcase shut. You tried to defraud me. Expect a hefty lawyer's bill. He stormed out, and the notary followed. Isabella tore off her disguise. You ruined everything, she shouted. This is our house, Luna cried. It never was. Grandma left it to me. Leave or I call the police, I replied. Isabella tried to go live on her phone, claiming I was attacking her and stealing her inheritance. I pointed to the bookshelf. That nanny cam recorded everything, including the forgery. Her phone dropped from her hand. My father collapsed in a chair. Please don't call the police. We don't have the money. It's our retirement, he whispered. I slid a document forward. Liquidate your retirement. Pay me $120,000 by Monday, or the district attorney gets the footage. Now, they have a choice, and I'm waiting to see what they'll do.